This is my Hurom H400 self-feeding slow juicer. I'm going to say what I like about it and show how it works. I've had two slow juicers before. One was a Nama J2 and the other one was an Omega. But this one's my favourite because it's the quickest to use and it's the easiest to clean up. The only downside really is the price, because this one's the most expensive. So this one is £599. The Nama was, or is at the moment, £575, and the other one, the Omega, is £399. So they're all quite pricey. The main difference between this one and the Hurom is the inside. So I'm going to show you the inside. So it's got a different kind of agar, and that looks like this. And I'll show a picture of the other type of agar, and it doesn't have a mesh. So normally a juicer has like that metal mesh thing. This doesn't have it. And that is why it's so much easier to clean. So now I'll just show you how it works. Kind of. I always forget which way round to put this on. Right, like that. Okay, so I'm going to make a green juice with celery and apple and stuff like that. And it does a pretty good job with the celery. People sometimes wonder about whether the celery is going to come out stringy, but it doesn't. And you can, another thing I like about it is you can fill the whole thing up. Well, it doesn't quite fit all the ingredients for this juice, but it nearly does. So I normally just put it on and start it. And now there's a bit of room to put the last few ingredients in. Do that. You can put whole apples in, it's just that you can't actually shut the thing. So I chop them up first. And then I can just get on with making the next juice while that's all juicing away, basically. So in a minute, I'll show you what the finished juice looks like, and then I'll show you how to clean it up. I'm just going to show you pouring it through a sieve, because some people like to see how much pulp is in it. I never actually do pour it through a sieve, I just drink it. But let's see how much pulp there will be. Okay, I've got a spoon because that's just taking ages. So there is some sort of pulpy stuff in here, which doesn't really bother me. I'll just drink it and you don't really notice it. But some people do like to sieve it out, so I thought I'd show you what's left. And then, so I make that juice about like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. And I've had this for since September, and it's been absolutely fine. And then the other juice I make is an orange juice, and it's got all these things in. And so it's got a bit of ginger and turmeric, which are a bit more tough. And I just thought I'd chuck them in. But it's really good with them as well. That juices them absolutely fine. So that's the other juice, which we will be having in a minute. And even fit the apple in and squash it in. And now what I normally do is I just walk away and go and drink that other juice, and then I can just leave this making juice for 5 minutes or whatever while I do something else. Right, so that's the second juice ready, and I'm going to show you what the back looks like. So at the back you've got like a pulp container, and that's how much pulp comes out from 2 juices. And actually that feels like more pulp than usual. Maybe that was a giant carrot. Anyway, so that's the pulp, and it's, to me, that seems like drier pulp than the other juicer that I used to have, the Nama one. I feel like it's a bit drier, which means there's more juice coming out of the produce, so that's good. So here's the on-off button. On is there, and then it's got a reverse button. If it goes wrong, you just have to reverse it for a minute to reset it, and then it's fine. And oh yeah, here's the pulp from earlier. That's how much came out of these 2 juices, and that's how much juice I got from it. So that to me seems like all of that seems pretty much the same as with the Nama juicer. So the main thing that I'm preferring about this one is clearing it up, which I'll show you in a second. And also the agar on the other one broke after maybe we'd had it about a year. It got a crack, and you'll see a picture on the screen of that crack. And I did read before I bought it that that had happened to other people too. I did put ours in the dishwasher a few times, which I probably shouldn't have done. And that might be why it cracked, or it might have just cracked anyway. And the other thing was like that agar was, it kind of, because of the design, it has little cracks around the bottom, and all the fibres from this, from the food and stuff gets stuck in those little cracks, and it's really hard to clean. So with this one, it's a lot easier to clean the agar. Okay. So you just take it all apart, and then because the surface of it is kind of smooth, everything just like pulls out. That's fine. And that doesn't really take any time. Sometimes I brush it with a brush. Depends how quick I'm doing. So that's that bit. A few bits are stuck on the bottom, but they just wash away really easily. Like that. So that's done. And then this bit, this is where I feel like you gain time. It's because, again, it just, all the stuff just comes off without really having to try. Whereas when I used to clean the other juicer, round there, between the metal and the plastic, is where all the bits used to get stuck, and you had to give it a really good brush, and you had to fiddle around with it for ages. This bit is a bit more tricky, so you just have to unclip that, and then there's a load of pulp that comes out, and on there as well. But that's it really, and then I just wash the rest down the sink. And that is done. I think it takes probably about 5 minutes quicker than the other one. So maybe that doesn't seem a lot to some people, but for me, trying to like get a good habit of using the juicer, 5 minutes made quite a difference. And I don't find it as off-putting to use this juicer now because it doesn't take ages to clear it up. That's my thoughts on the Hurom juicer. The main advantage for me being how easy it is to clear up, and the fact that the agar seems to be designed better so that it's not cracking and breaking.